They're getting situated. Yeah, come on up. I want to formally introduce everyone as they're seated because you all have such great expertise in the different organizations that you all work with. It's very these are very lavish seats, so only the best for you all. Very lavish. We're gonna have a great conversation. All right, starting with our panelists, we have Galila Mas, who is the Regional Manager of the Black Community Business Development with TD. We have Jerry Condelati, Senior Manager of Financial Resilience and Inclusion with the Van City Credit Union. We have David Kim, Regional Manager for Client Diversity at BDC. And we have Mona Lisa Prosper, the Director of Black Entrepreneurs at Futurepreneur. And lastly, but not least, we have moderating this panel, Jonathan Mukisa. Jonathan is a double awarded business and consulting and coach, social entrepreneur, speaker, and facilitator with extensive experience with strategic planning and organizational design, both here across North America and in Africa. So, round of applause for our panelists and moderator, please.
Thank you, Michael.
For some good conversation, right, Jonathan? We're gonna have some
absolutely.
Right.
Thank you for the intro. Good morning, Vancouver. You guys are the best. You're here at 10 a.m. This is awesome. As he said, my name is Jonathan, and my goal today, this morning, is to actually lead this panel so we can come up with some practical stuff. My goal today is so you can go home with practical information that will help you take that step and say, hey, if I was afraid to find out information about finances, find out information about funding, I know where to go, I know what question to ask, I know what to expect and all of that. So real quick, there are a couple of questions I'll be asking to you individually, but there are also questions that I'll be asking a standard question to all of you, and you can answer. We have about 35 minutes, so I hope I count on you to be concise and to be brief, to the point, straightforward. And so my first question all together is what are you individually seeking to achieve on this conversation from TD perspective and CD, BDC, as well as Futurepreneur? Let's start with Jalila.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here in this amazing expo. My goal for the Black community, I want to touch every Black business, and I want to see them succeed, and I want to see them really achieve what it means for them to be, successful. And I think there's so many different services that are available, and my goal is to make sure that they're connected to the right person.
This is beautiful. Thank you. Jerry?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you so much for this invitation. I think it's really important when you're an entrepreneur, and especially a Black entrepreneur, to know that you're not alone. It is so easy sometimes when you go to a financial institution and you don't see yourself represented, but knowing that we are here as a financial institution and really care about you and care about the future of your business, I think that raising awareness that there's help out there, and it's help that sometimes comes in different ways, not necessarily in a loan, maybe in advice. That's really what I want to get out of this discussion.
Beautiful. David?
And I'll just echo what Jerry was saying on the advice piece. I was talking with Jonathan earlier, and to me at BDC, it's about being on that journey with you, and to highlight to you that there are a lot of people along the road that want to get in the car with you. And it's not, as Jerry was saying, it's not just the money. It's also the very important advice piece and being introduced to other people. So I'm hoping that people, what they'll take out of this is that we're on this journey together, and you are not alone.
So I have to go last.
Best for last.
Yes. Well, I definitely echo everything that the other panelists have said. What I would add is that this is a great event, a great way for all of us to connect, to learn about new businesses, learn about new services, and I really want any aspiring Black entrepreneur, current Black entrepreneur in the room to know that all of us are there to help and to come and ask a question. A lot of times you don't, lack knowledge and then you're afraid of asking questions, but that's why we all exist. So whatever it is that you want to know for your business, for funding, for anything else, don't be afraid to just go up to a booth, go up to somebody and ask a question. So that's what I hope to accomplish today.
Beautiful, thank you very much. So this panel exists because funding and capital is one of, if not the biggest hurdle for Black entrepreneurs and Black business owners. And what are you offering? When I say you, I say your organization, your institution is offering specifically to tackle that hurdle, one. And number two, knowing that most businesses in the Black community are either micro or small businesses. How do the programs that you have going, if you can cite them, how do they differ from traditional programs or traditional loans that already exist? Yeah. Let's just go.
That's a loaded question, but yes, I'll tackle that. At TD, actually, my role got created as sort of the support that's needed in the community. 2 years ago, our president and CEO, committed to do more for the Black community, or actually now 3 years. And as a result of that, we created the Black customer segment. So we have 5 regional managers that are focused on being proactive, being the liaison for TD Bank, going out and actually looking for business. What that means is we are actually connecting with individual business owners and actually identifying their need, making banking a little bit more easier to access. So that's that, and I've got a number of teams that I work with that could help support individuals with their business banking needs, with their commercial needs, personal investments. So it's easier for me to just say, you know what, here's an individual that I want you to meet that's culture sensitive, because that's also really important to us. So that was, formed, and then as a result of that, we now have, or after that, what we did is actually created a Black Entrepreneur Credit Access Program, and that is going amazing. Businesses are now, especially in the Black community, we do see a little, a net worth credit issue, and so therefore, how do we overlook that if there's a really great business model to be able to give access to individual businesses? So that is a program that I'm currently working with that's very different. We get to actually say yes to people that normally won't fit the normal business credit access programs.
I'll circle back to you asking what specific barriers have you, as TD, gotten out of the way to allow Black business owners and entrepreneurs actually to get much more funding, to get the support that they ideally need right now. But back to Jerry, same question. Considering most of the businesses in the Black community are small or micro businesses, what is your institution doing specifically to tackle that, and what programs do you have in place for Black businesses and business owners?
Yeah, thanks for that question. One of the things that Vancity, we're a financial cooperative. We are known for small and medium-sized and micro business. That is our wheelhouse. We really don't have those big businesses like Walmart and the big ones. We are really just known for that. SMEs, the small, medium, and micro finance. So because of that, we've always had a microfinance program, and if you're able to go on our website, if you just Google microfinance, you'll be able to find it. It's a program that always looks beyond the traditional criteria. We actually look at your social capital, how you are actually really approaching your business, what sort of ideas you have, and even if you have poor credit, we actually are usually able to lend you. It usually goes up to $70,000, but most of the microfinance ones we're seeing are up to $10,000 to $25,000. Now, because we know 2 years ago, the world had a reckoning that Black people actually exist in this world and in North America, we actually decided that because of this, let's have a spotlight on our Black entrepreneurs. So what I worked with BBABC and 2 other Black serving organizations. We actually came up with a program we call the Black Entrepreneurship Program. It's not a loan program, it's a program that we will fund those organizations to help people be before they come for funding, so the prepping, the business planning, so that when you're able to come for the funding, you're ready and prepared. And then we would direct you to Van City, where we have the microloan product. And then after you get the loan, there's the aftercare, which is what everybody fails at. We all know that. You get a loan, you're on your own. It's so difficult to make it after that. It's that aftercare where we talk about the marketing, taxation, legal services. So we are funding these organizations from our members. So as a financial cooperative, we have what we call, we give 30% back to the community. So we have that, it's called shared success. So we give them a grant to be able to build their capacity, to be able to help this organization. So if you go to BBABC's website, you will see the Black Entrepreneurship Program that's funded 100% by Van City, that really takes care of that aspect of before and after. And then we have a program in place. If you're looking for a loan, because not everybody needs a loan, let's be serious, you don't always need a loan. Sometimes you just need advice or somebody to just help you get there. So it's a program, not a loan program, but an entrepreneurship program.
Sounds good. I'll also get back to you because on your website you talk about this barrier-free financing, and I will have you expand a little bit on that and how it contrasts with the natural and the usual, the traditional financing that's in place. David?
Yeah, wow, I mean, Van City TD, how do I follow that? I'm going to be echoing quite a bit what you just heard. And so at BDC, we too set up a national client diversity team that's really focused on supporting the diverse entrepreneurs. And our three main communities of focus is Black entrepreneurs, Indigenous, and women. Now, as far as specific products, loan products for you, we have products that what we call where we work with partners in the ecosystem, and I'm not going to steal Mona Lisa's thunder. I'm going to let her explain how BDC and Futurepreneur have paired up for the Black entrepreneurs. We've also been involved as the investment into the FACE program, where BDC has injected $130 million into that program, and we are working on the fulfillment side of that. We've also, on the venture capital side, we've also funded the Black Venture Fund to the tune of $10 million. Now, there is a specific loan product that really does speak to the audience here, and it's our newcomer loan. It's for the immigrants. And I say this because, as an example of you to think outside the box, we know from statistics that more than 50% of the Black business owners are immigrants. And so we want to encourage you to think that there are other opportunities and vehicles for you. And to echo what Jerry was saying, the advice piece. It's very, very important that we all help upskill your knowledge and acumen capability so that you can take advantage of the funds. I got lots more to say, but I'm going to stop here and pass it over to Mona Lisa.
I'll get back to you specifically on what measurable impact did all the engagements that you've had with partners in the ecosystem have led to, but also much more specifically on what made you come up with the immigrants. You talk about something about immigrants and how you made that available and how can we access that for those who are here. Want to listen?
Yes. So Futurepreneur has been around for I think 27 years now. I generally see more than 25 because I stopped counting after that. Our focus is really to help young entrepreneurs, so age 18 to 39. We offer a loan and a mentor, so they always go hand in hand, never one without the other. And in those 27 years, we've helped a diverse set of entrepreneurs. But 2 years ago, in 2021, like you said, the world changed and people finally listened. Futurepreneur decided to be a little bit more intentional with its help towards Black entrepreneurs. And that's where the Black Entrepreneur Startup Program was created. It's funded by RBC with additional loan financing by BDC. BDC is one of our long-standing partners. And the way the program was thought out is really to go through every step of our process and see what can we change and what are the barriers faced by young Black entrepreneurs specifically in our process that we can change so that we can help fund even more young Black entrepreneurs. So we made two very important changes to our core program. The first one being that we know that general access to financing is the main one of or the number one barrier faced by young Black entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs in general. So as part of this program, not only do we give financing to launch the business, we also give additional financing after 2 years for them to scale. So not only do we help them launch, but we help them scale after 2 years. So the first loan is up to $60,000, and the second one is up to $40,000. And that's a first at Futurepreneur because, like I said, we really only focus on startups. So normally a Futurepreneur loan, you can only access it once in your business's lifetime at the very beginning. But for this program, we made this addition in order to help them scale. I'm very happy to say that we've disbursed our very first follow-on financing this year because we hit the 2-year mark. So it's very exciting to see our Black entrepreneurs really scale and launch. The second change is that we found a way to be a little bit more inclusive towards credit because we know and understand that it's a hurdle and it's an important barrier for our Black entrepreneurs. So we found a way to be a little bit more inclusive. It's a loan, so there are still unfortunate declines that we have to do because we don't want to add a financial burden on an entrepreneur that is not able to sustain it. But we found a way to give up to $10,000 of loan financing to some that would normally get declined in our regular process. So this is how we're having an impact, and after 2 years, I'm very proud to say that we've helped over 300 young Black entrepreneurs throughout Canada.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Amazing, amazing answers. So I'll be back to you. Just in 20 minutes, we'll open the floor to any questions that you would have for about 10 minutes that you want to ask them specifically. And back to you, Jalila. As I was chatting with you in the backstage, your role as a regional manager, my question was still, most of these programs are kind of designed from up down. They're kind of designed from your institution and then we're going to give to the Black community. And unfortunately, the problem with most of this program is that they come out of probably assumptions and you don't really know what people need unless you talk to them. So your role as a regional manager, talk to me a little bit about what you were talking to me in the backstage, how you actually ended up figuring out that the Black community needed beyond just having a portal on the web where you can go and ask your questions and submit your loans, and talk as well to me about a couple of the barriers that you ended up finding out and that informed a readjustment of the loan programs that you have in place.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Thank you. I think initially when I came onto this role almost 2 years ago, one of the things that we knew at that time, because we created this role based on a research that was done within the Black community, and one of the things that we knew was that Black folks are looking for Black advisors, or they're looking for somebody that looks like them, that would understand that culture, the way they do business, and so we knew that. We also knew that there was a financial literacy, a need for financial literacy. So we started off with that, and so as part of my journey, making sure that I connect with individuals, my teams know that they're really making sure to dig deeper with every business as well. That's actually how I came across BBABC, is that I was looking for organizations that were working in that customer segment to really make sure that we're partnering, we're forming the right partners to have these discussions around, okay, what is the need? Are these individuals, like, let's say if they're at the startup stage, do they have their business plan? Do they have somebody walking them through the business plan? Because we don't have all the capacities around the wraparound services, so who do we make sure that this customer is in front of? And work closely with BDC advisors, we were talking about that. So maybe it's not a banking need, but maybe it's somebody else that's gonna need to, get them the access before they come back to us. So that was one of the biggest learnings that I had, is as I kind of journeyed through my role, is that, the community really continues to struggle with financial literacy, making sure that we have the right financial documents. So we have all these services now, we need to make sure we provide everything that the bank needs to make sure that we can get you the funding. And that's where we were talking about that Futurepreneur is great because you know what? They'll get the funding up until they can get the funding to, from a bank. So I think a lot of the need is around financial literacy, and I continue to work on delivering materials that are really helpful to individual businesses, sole proprietors, or corporations, just really making sure that we're doing a lot of work in that space to educate and just really doing our part, not only just looking for the loan. I always say it's not a loan that we're giving out, we're really financing a dream. So really making sure that each and every customer has the right advice, the right support, the right advisor that they need.
Probably, I'll come back to you with the last round where I would want you to answer as an individual. I assume that you're a parent, I assume that you have kids as well. What do you think would be some of the proactive actions, the proactive activities that people can take from home to ensure that by the time that the kids get to the level of, say, I want a loan, I want financing for my business, I know exactly where to go, I know exactly what to do. I'll come back to you on that. So Jerry, elaborate a little bit on the barrier-free financing that you're talking about, and whether they are all loans or there are as well grants, because we are much more interested in that. As I was having a conversation with a couple of entrepreneurs, one of the things that that repels them from approaching financial institutions is that they view financial institutions as these hunters who are out there and they're preying on them to come and get them deeper into debt again. So if you don't mind talking about the barrier-free financing that you have at Vancity, but also about what are the types of financing that you have in place and what should we do to access them?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So one of the things when we started working with BBABC and the other two Black Starving organizations is that we recognize that we actually have funding that we can give to non-profits. We cannot give funding to for-profit company, but we can give a non-profit funding so that they can actually work with for-profit organizations, and they can actually give some grants through our funding to those for-profit small businesses. So that's kind of the way we have to work because so last year we actually funded over $700,000 to Black-led non-profits to be able to work with entrepreneurs and other social activities or other social community needs, and some of that funding, some of it of course went to BBABC, so that they are also able to support their clients with some small grants that we would not be able to definitely do directly. And because also we also require to have due diligence on the granting. When you're giving money for free, you really want that to be sure that that money is going to the right place and for the right type of work. So when we fund an organization like BBABC, we know them, we trust them. We know they're going to do exactly what they'll say they'll do with that money, and they actually come with different ideas, innovative ideas of how they can support the Black businesses. So that's kind of how we do it.
Okay, that's beautiful. I'll probably come back to you as well with the same question that I asked Angelina. David, what I love about what you do with BDC, and there's this report, you collect data, and I'm sure that those data inform your decision making in whatever programs that you're taking specifically for the Black community. So there's this report that you had with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. I want you to elaborate a little bit on what are a couple of measurable, I asked you about measurable impacts that you have, but what data, what are you finding out as BDC, as you're working not only with the people in the ecosystem, you're working as well with Black entrepreneurs, what are you finding out that could make those programs, those financing Black businesses much more accessible and easier? Because I was having a conversation with a couple of entrepreneurs here, they say the problem is sometimes when I apply for a loan, I probably need it within a month or two. But it took me 14 months, for example, for these people to get back to me at a time where I realized I didn't need it anymore. Or somebody else that would say, for example, for me growing, the demand for what I had was huge, and I grew up so fast that it became a problem and I had to shut down. So what kind of data, what kind of information are you finding out? If you want to elaborate a little bit on that, that could help our entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs here to actually make that leap forward.
Sure. I mean, what I'm hearing from you and what I'm hearing from Jalila is that it's around the knowledge piece, the financial capability piece. So what you said was that I applied, I needed the money within 30 days, I didn't get it here back till 12 months later. You know, as institutions, I do believe that we need to be out there and earn your trust. Now, at the same time, I think what needs to be done is to help you improve your the financial capability so that you can take that information, the ratios, and then critically apply it to your business decision making. And to your point, Jonathan, about I didn't get an answer until after 30 days. If we had that conversation prior to the 30 days, you would have been able to, hopefully, we would have been able to guide you as to say, you know, there's other options that you can consider. If you need an answer within 30 days, I would hope that we are all telling you that it's not reasonable or it is reasonable and that we do execute on it. The other data that you're talking about, Jonathan, is we know that about 15% of the black entrepreneurs that are surveyed, they don't have a lot of trust in financial institutions. And that's resulted in about 82% seeking alternative financing, personal financing, family, friends. But the other stat that really struck out at me, which really points to financial capability, is that out of that 80%, 25% is from credit cards. And we know how expensive credit cards are. And so, as Jerry has been echoing, and as Jalila has been echoing, it's that advice piece that is so crucial. Getting the money is one thing. If we cannot help you on the advice piece, we're really not setting you up for success.
Awesome, thank you very much. And Mona Lisa, I want to ask you, what has disqualified people before in the past from securing your support?
It's a good question. I would say there are two things that can disqualify an entrepreneur. Of course, there's the credit piece that I mentioned before. Since it's a loan, it's still something that we look at. It's a collateral-free loan that we offer, so it's a great opportunity. But we still need to look at your credit. So we do have some entrepreneurs that we have to decline, unfortunately, because of their credit. But
Personal credit,
because it's a collateral-free loan, so it's as if we look at really the personal history of the entrepreneur, and we also fund startups, right? So the business generally doesn't have lots of revenues to show or anything, so we really look at the entrepreneur's history. That being said, if you are declined because of the credit, you can still come back to us. You can go and work on your credit, come back to us when you're ready. If you're still between 18 to 39, of course, and if you fall into our other eligibility criteria. What we did to sort of address that, we don't want to consider ourselves experts in credit, and we know that a lot of times entrepreneurs that have specific credit barriers, they need one-on-one help to really assess their situation and work at it. But we did develop free credit information videos that are available to all our entrepreneurs online. So that's one thing we did to sort of alleviate that. The other reason why an entrepreneur could get declined is, of course, if the business plan, the cash flow projections are not up to par. And that being said, we offer help to help entrepreneurs get to the point where their business plan, their cash flow projections make sense, so that it's solid and that they can access our loan. So I feel like all the tools are there, and our goal is really to help as much entrepreneurs as we can. And a decline doesn't mean it's a decline forever. You can still work on your documents and get back to us when you're ready.
Awesome. So, and then in 7 minutes we'll open it up for question and answers. So if you have any question, I think the tech will set up a microphone that you can walk to and ask your question. So as we're wrapping up, for 1 minute or so, in your wrap up, I want you to focus on two things. One, are what you're offering exclusive? For example, if I come to TD, you should not have something similar going as well with another bank. Are they exclusive? Number two thing I want you to focus on as you're wrapping up is, are there any proactive initiatives and activities? I talk about you as a parent. Are there anything you're investing into that is much more proactive rather than just getting entrepreneurs the loans because we expect they'll pay them back with interest, that you have it in place? So this is something that I want all of us to conclude on. And last but not least, where can we find more information about you, or is there an opportunity we can speak to you further during this event?
Okay, I'm going to see if I can keep track of all the questions in one. There's lots of information, td.com, you know, add me on LinkedIn. We do a lot of work in the community to make sure that our community understands there's a lot of support and there's a lot of advice that we do. My cell phone number is online, so everybody has access to me. I think that was really actually one of the things that was really important to me when I first came onto this role, is I wanted to make banking as friendly as it could be to really access the right advisors. So that is definitely out there. There's lots of support. If you connect with BBABC, they can connect you to me as well, or my team. So td.com, Black Businesses, Black Credit Access program that we have, or the Black Entrepreneur Credit Capital Access program that we have is amazing. It's been going so well, and we're doing a lot of conversation around that. I've heard a lot of conversation around trust building. I think that's really what we're on right now, is on the journey to really make sure that we're connecting to customers and really understanding.
Right.
And we need to be patient because we really don't have that generational understanding of banking systems.
Okay.
And that's why there's 5 C's of credit, and my boss says I'm going to add another one, which is culture. I think we really need to dig deeper and make sure that we're catering to that, and I think that's what all these different programs are for.
Any proactive activities that TD is specifically focusing on or investing into that can help people not just come in a reactive way, I need a loan right now, I need financing right now, but as opposed to, hey, I've been hearing and being educated in this kind of information for a long time. My kids have been through that, and then so over time this barrier is broken.
Absolutely, and one of the things that that we've heard here, the support that's out there, TD has been our philanthropy dollars, the TD Ready commitment. We donate, to be able to help these kind of causes. The Black Opportunity Fund, we gave $10 million to really make sure these accesses and supports are actually available to, programs, individuals, to be able to really easily access them. We help support BBABC. We're one of the proud partners.
I'll have to stop you there, but thank you very much. This is amazing. So we have like less than 60 seconds each.
All right.
On a wrap up. Number
I
one.
can go on.
60 second each. Where can we find you? Two is, are there any proactive initiatives that you have in place that can actually help over time alleviate all these barriers, and if not, just break all of them?
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, partnerships are so important in this work because we are a financial institution and we recognize that. And what are we good at? We are good at giving out loans and financial advice. But we need these partnerships with people like BBABC who will actually be the ones that build that trust with the individual so that that individual feels that they are heard and that they are being set up to succeed. And that's really important for us. So that's why we're approaching it from a partnership level. We do have a lot of online resources on our website. There's Vancity Business Learn, where people can do it online, learn about starting a business. And Vancity is also known for having one of the biggest financial literacy programs called Each One Teach One, where our own staff members go out and teach people in the community. So those are just different ways that we're approaching this.
Thank you very much, Jerry. David?
So on that partnership, you can find us here today at the Procurement Assistance Canada booth. We collaborate very strongly with PAC, and one of our account managers here as well. You can talk, and by all means, reach out to me. Tell me, I want to find out your story and help you in terms of, okay, you know what? There's something here at BDC, there may not be, but here's some other people that you could talk to. And one thing that's exclusive, I think you were mentioning, it's the D in our name, development. And that's what we're all about helping to develop your business, and that's our advisory services. That is very exclusive to what we do.
Awesome, awesome. Mona Lisa?
So where to find us? We're at the booth right next to BDC and Procurement Assistance Canada, right over there. Me and my colleague Rachel will be very happy to speak with you. You can find us online. We're on all social media, futurepreneur.ca/BESP for Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. We also have a very great podcast that I'm the proud moderator on. It's a 6-episode podcast that you can find online. And we have a great episode called Demystifying Business Loans. And I think it's really, really important for you to listen in, because I know that loans can be very, very scary. Loans are not for everybody, but loans can be such a powerful tool, and it's all about the knowledge. So if there's one thing I would like to tell you all, and like I said at the very beginning, is get all the knowledge you need and share the knowledge as well, because once you have that, you'll be able to create better strategies for your business to start and grow.
All right, give it up for our guests. Thank you very much. Now, Q&A, this is a Q&A time. If you have a question, we'll take about 3 questions for the first batch. We have 10 minutes. We'll take 3 questions, and you ask your question, whether you're asking it to any, or I guess individually, or you want all their perspective on that question. So we have the microphone there.
All right, right here. Come make a line. If anybody has a question, come
Any
on.
question? Awesome. Please try to keep it brief.
So I wanted to know about resources for Black businesses that actually seek to scale. You covered a lot about small and micro businesses, but what about those businesses that want to scale across Canada or across North America?
Love it, love it. Thank you. What's your name? Zwa. Sounds good. Next question, please.
Hi.
No, so we asking 3 questions at a time. So you can either choose to answer one of them or give perspective. So I'll try to keep track of the questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I just want to know what the top 3 ways I can build my credit in preparation to get a loan.
But this is a good one. I need that answer too. Next question.
My name is Halafon, and thank you for being with this opportunity. And I would like to ask, this is for people who already have an idea, I guess. I am looking for internship, going for my experience, so that I can develop my business idea, or just find out that I'm not a good match for that.
Capacity.
Yes, I would love to. I was thinking to sell sprouts. I really don't know where to start with.
Capacity building opportunity for him to build his skills to be fit to run a business. I think we'll start with that. So, first question is, what are the supports that you have available for people who are seeking to scale their businesses? Second question is, what are probably top 3 ways to build their personal credit, to be fit, to qualify, because that was one of the hurdles, to qualify for the business loan. And last question was, are there capacity building opportunities that you offer for people to come to get a readiness to run a business? So I think I will have 1 minute or 2 minutes with each one of you to answer those questions as much as you can.
If I can start with the question for scaling a small to large scale business, we absolutely can help support. We lend money. Contrarily to what you may think, we actually lend money. We have commercial groups that are focused on large scale businesses. We lend up to however many millions of dollars. So really just important to make sure that you connect with the right advisor. I often say that really does make a difference. Please let's connect, add me on LinkedIn, or we have a TD booth as well. So let's connect on that just to find out more on how we can help you. The second question was around credit. Credit capacity. I think that is such an important thing because that's what everybody looks for. It is really important to start with a small credit, you know, whether it is with your credit card or with really making sure that you are taking care of your credit, the amount of credit you use. If there is credit issues already in existence, there's many folks that can help with that. But I would probably say just really making sure that you're focused on payments and just make sure how much you're leveraging as well.
Yeah, please stop by the booth somewhere in here. Yeah, David, you want to go?
Yes, just on the scaling the program, scaling your business. BDC, we created a Stronger Together webinar series for Black entrepreneurs. And it's 3 webinars. It's available on demand. It's about how to, and it's strengthening your business, strengthening your finances. It's using digital tools to access customers, and how to grow your business in this virtual world that we're at. And then the other piece is that we have advisory services that are geared to the segment that you're in terms of your revenue growth. So please come on up, and happy to talk to you about it more.
Do you have any capacity building opportunities for someone who want to learn hands-on what it takes, just like the gentleman asked, what it takes to actually get to run a business or something like that?
Absolutely, and this is where our website, we have tools, templates, articles. Futurepreneur has some great tools. So we check them out too as well. And so they're everything that you have that you could need to get started is there. The problem is we have a lot of stuff, so come see me.
Sounds good. See David after that. Jerry, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think I can just echo what everybody has said. Especially if you need to scale your business, you kind of have to be good with where you are right now so that you're able to scale it and getting the right advice. And and so we do have other divisions within Vancity. I know I talked about being small, medium. Of course, we do up to maybe 5 million. So we are there to scale up if you are ready to scale up. And about credit, I think the most important thing, find out your credit. There's so many resources there right now, even online. You can go in, Credit Karma, find out where you are with your credit. And that's really a great starting point because then you can start going to your banker, go to your banker where you're banking and say, I want to build my credit. One of the things I know we always say when I haven't been a lender in a long time, but when I was a lender, I would always say, if I say no, there was always a but. No, but if you do this and this and this, come back in 6 months' time, and we should be able to help you. So, and most financial institutions, and I think I speak for all of us here, really want to get you there, and they give that type of advice.
Beautiful, Jerry. You want to wrap it up?
There's not much to add, but you know, I would definitely echo that last point. It's very important to monitor your credit, look at it at least on a monthly basis, because sometimes, you know, there are certain things that happen in life, it fluctuates, but make sure that you understand your credit, also the different pieces, how to properly go about it and to monitor it. And on the capacity building side, I would even say, because I think you mentioned, I don't know if you're still in the audience, but wanting to gain more experience in understanding if entrepreneurship was fit for you. Definitely, there's so many resources and so many entrepreneurs out there that are looking for help. So maybe the first step is also to start working with a startup, understanding and looking at how it all works to see if it's suitable for you or not, and then start also building your network is a great way to go.
That's awesome. I think, is there any last question in the room? Yeah, real quick.
I'm really surprised none of you mentioned business plans and the importance of them when coming to lenders. In that regard, what would you say are the biggest weaknesses you see people are not addressing or are not addressing well in the presentation of a business plan?
Great point. We didn't really get the chance to get into the thick of the process of accessing it, but yes, definitely, us as Futurepreneur, we look at your business plan and your cash flow projections, and the main things that we see is that entrepreneurs don't know their market very well. The market research piece is generally the one that's the least thorough, the least done, and it's something that every single time we try to coach them and open their eyes to really have a broader understanding of their industry. You know, what are the opportunities? What are, you know, doing the SWOT analysis and all of that. That's one part that's generally missing, and then definitely the financials. Because yes, I speak about them separately, but they of course go together. There's no business plan without financial projections, and that piece is a lot of times entrepreneurs come to us. They're going to be ready, you know, they have their pitch down, everything is great, but then the financials, oh, they're not able, they don't even know how much they need, right? They don't even know how much they're going to generate and how to go through that process. We do offer the help at Futurepreneur. We have different templates for free that are accessible to all, even if you're not going through a process. And when you are going through a process, we really try, we have a lot of people on our team with lived experience, offering that one-on-one sort of coaching and counseling to get the entrepreneur ready.
20 seconds, David.
And so on that financial forecast, it's really easy on the top line, you see lots of dollar signs. But what I lack of focus on is on the expenses. So I can go a little granular, it's the expenses. And the other one is the cash flow. And I would be remiss without saying that you should be visiting Small Business BC, BBA BC obviously, any one of us, as well as the Black Business Venture Association, whose booth is right across from Pat.
Great. Any of you 20 seconds?
Yeah, I think this is, a business plan should be a map of your business. And I think, you know, there's a lot of resources, tools available to be able to make it. One of the things that I've seen is that people get a business plan done somewhere and they have no idea what it is. But it really is about you and your vision, how you plan on executing it. Because when we look at that business plan, we read it in full to be able to kind of understand what it is that you're doing. So it really should represent your view, and I would say that's, you know, I mean, you've touched on that and what needs to go inside it. It doesn't need to be too long, it doesn't need to be too short, but it really needs to represent, and you also need to be able to kind of really tell who you are and what drives you.
Awesome. 20 seconds.
Maybe I'll just finish off and say that's why.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time. If you have a personal question, let's have Jerry wrap up for 20 seconds. If you have a personal question, you can still approach them anytime, okay? Yeah.
I just have to say that that's why this is so great that we have this Afro Expo today, and also we have BBABC. If you really need somebody to help you with your business plan, please go to them. They are experts, they understand you, they understand your background.
Thank you very much, everybody. Give it a round of applause to our guests. It was a pleasure for me as well to host this panel. And again, I'll give it back to Michael. Thank you very much, people.
No, not yet. There we are. Okay. Thank you all so much. That was such a rich conversation, and I like that we went broad and also granular. Because something like starting a business, you can't just do lightly. You have to do it thoroughly, right? And so, yeah, can we get a round of applause for our panelists to get us off started in the right way? Thank you, Jonathan, for this amazing moderation. And again, yeah, thank you again. And please visit these folks at their booths. It's gonna be good. Okay. You are now relieved for now.